If you're no stranger to the games industry, then you're no stranger to Jeff Kaplan, who's of course the director of Overwatch and made quite the name for himself through Overwatch, which is a game that proved to be very influential. Overwatch certainly helped solidify the hero shooter genre and made it garner a whole lot of popularity and went on to influence a bunch of other games. So Jeff Kaplan's status within Blizzard is very well known, which is why it is so sudden and kind of shocking that Jeff Kaplan, out of the blue, announced that he'd be leaving Blizzard after nearly 20 years with the company. And scrolling down through the comments, you can already see people, are kind of mourning this, because a lot of what made Overwatch was, well, Jeff's leadership. And, people are now wondering, what does the future hold for Overwatch? In particular, Overwatch 2, which is coming out in the not-so-distant future. Now, putting all that aside, let's take a look at the announcement itself from Blizzard. So, this is a blog post published today, April 20th, 2021. The headline reads, New Leadership for Overwatch, and this is what Blizzard had to say, or this is what Aaron had to say. Aaron is the new director. He said, Jeff's been a great leader, mentor, and friend, and he knows how much we're going to miss him. I've been lucky to work alongside him and the rest of the Overwatch team for many years in building something that continues to inspire people all around the world, and I'm honored to carry the torch forward. And then after talking about his love for Overwatch, he continued, I also recognize that making games at Blizzard has always been a group effort and never about just one point of view. Together with the rest of the team, I feel fortunate that we have a deep bench of development and creative leaders, numerous veteran Blizzard artists and designers, and some extremely talented new blood as well, along with tons of support throughout the company for the live game and for Overwatch 2. Likely trying to, on a subtle level, address potential concerns that Jeff Kaplan leaving could mean that the future of Overwatch is not quite as bright as it would have been. And obviously that's hard for me to say at this stage, though, again, a big part of what makes a game that game is leadership, the creative directors. Though we'll see how Aaron carries that torch forward, and, there's certainly still the Overwatch core team there, but time will tell whether Overwatch can continue to thrive without Kaplan's leadership, or if we're going to start to see some degradation. And then finally, an update on Overwatch 2, which he confirms that development is continuing at a good pace. We have an exceptional vision we're executing on. The reaction from many of you to the updates we shared at BlizzConline thrilled us, and we have exciting reveals planned for this year and beyond as we ramp up to launch. We'll be sharing more frequent updates about Overwatch 2 progress and new features in the live game with you all very soon. Aaron then concludes with, while I have no pretenses about filling Jeff's shoes, I'm excited to step into the game director role and continue to be a part of the team that's putting all of its heart, talent, and focus into the next iteration of Overwatch, and I'm honored to continue serving this incredible community. Next up, we have a statement from Jeff Kaplan himself, who kept it pretty short and simple. In all lowercase, he wrote, I'm leaving Blizzard Entertainment after 19 amazing years. It was truly the honor of a lifetime to have the opportunity to create worlds and heroes for such a passionate audience. I want to express my deep appreciation to everyone at Blizzard who supported our games, our game teams, and our players, but I want to say a special thanks to the wonderful game developers that shared in the journey of creation with me. Never accept the world as it appears to be, always there to see it for what it could be. I hope you do the same. GG, Jeffrey Kaplan. Great quote. Now, for those who don't know Kaplan's history, he joined Blizzard all the way back in 2002, where he started as a designer on World of Warcraft, developing quests for the upcoming MMO. He eventually was credited as a game director on WoW. In 2009, Kaplan spearheaded an unannounced project at Blizzard called Titan, a first-person shooter game. That didn't take off. That was canceled in 2014, but then Kaplan went on to make Overwatch, which of course became a huge success. Now, what's particularly raising eyebrows about all of this is the timing. This all comes in during a time when Blizzard has been kind of hemorrhaging a lot of veteran developers, a lot of top developers from years old, Particularly, Mike Morhaime was a major figure. He was the co-creator, the co-founder of Blizzard, and he, alongside a bunch of other industry veterans, many of them from Blizzard, went on to establish a new studio called Dreamhaven, announced on September 23rd, 2020. Investigative reporter Jason Schreier put it like this: a whole bunch of Blizzard vets, including former CEO Mike Morhaime, have started a new video game company free of Activision. Many had left because of Activision's growing influence on Blizzard's culture and process. Among the mandates that really turned off a lot of developers was Activision wanting Blizzard to cut costs and make more games. So basically get rid of a lot of stuff outside of their core game development teams and studios and just work on more games, factory produce them, and get them out as quickly as possible and make sure that they're mega blockbusters. But mega blockbusters and huge hits don't just come like that. You know, you need years of iteration, and you need to give the developers all the time and space and as much resources as possible to be able to realize their vision. But Activision's corporate mandates are kind of degrading that aspect of Blizzard. And hell, Mike Morhaime said as much in this article published by the Washington Post on September 23rd, 2020, where he talked about his thoughts on what it was like to work for Blizzard in those final years and why he ultimately started Dreamhaven. So a bit of background in regards to Mike Morhaime, co-founder of Blizzard. He stepped down as Blizzard CEO in 2018, left the company altogether in 2019. And among the topics discussed was how Blizzard's escalating value as a company came along with more and more corporate oversight. For Morhaime, at some level, Dreamhaven is as simple as enjoying the freedom. He doesn't want that kind of corporate oversight that's just focused on profits. He just wants to make the best games possible and just have the liberty of doing that without bullshit restrictions. He just wants to do his own thing with exactly the people he wants to work with. Sounds like a pretty promising endeavor, if you ask me. And Morhaime specifically said, if you look back just 3 years from 91 to 94, that's the period where we were completely independent. We sort of managed to operate inside larger companies with an incredible degree of autonomy and independence. But when you are a part of a public company, Activision, there's only really so much independence you can actually have, because I didn't actually own the company for such a long time. And the thing about that kind of corporate influence seeping in is that it goes counter to Morhaime's ideals, who is known for valuing the person over the product. Mike Morhaime, across the board, was beloved within Blizzard because his moral compass was always in the right place. For him, it was always about doing his best to treat the developers who make these games right and treat the artistic merits of these games that they're making with integrity. And for him, it was all about that passion of creating and, putting out a product that gamers and customers will enjoy. Mike Morhaime spoke to that effect when he admitted to the Washington Post that at certain points in Blizzard's complex corporate history, he felt he was laboring against his own environment. And this quote right here from Morhaime probably best reflects why some of these top developers, veteran developers who used to be at Blizzard, left the company. Morhaime said it tends to be the more entrepreneurial stage of a company that is really thinking about product and putting everything into making that as great as it can be. And then something happens. You switch from entrepreneurial to operating, and you're bringing money in and revenue in, and the focus shifts from how do we make our product the best and how do we keep innovating to how do we keep the revenue coming in at least as much as last year. Those are the questions you're starting to ask, not what will make this the best and how do we make it more fun. Because once a company goes public or once a company grows that big, it becomes about appeasing investors. And they're all about seeing a company's revenue grow from year to year. And so suddenly for these companies, the investors become the real customers, not the players. The focus becomes appeasing investors' need for more money rather than appeasing players' need for compelling experiences, which is what Morhaime hopes Dreamhaven will be able to pursue, stating Dreamhaven is hopefully like a beacon to the rest of the industry. Maybe we can lead by example and show that there is a better way of doing things and approaching the business of games and treating your employees and treating your players. Unfortunately, these are not ideals shared by Activision executives whose influence is seeping more and more into Blizzard. And I guess the question is, was this a part of the reason for why Jeff Kaplan left? Did he feel unfulfilled by the mandates that were getting in the way of his ability to create? Or was it just, personal reasons that he just want to move on to new endeavors? I don't want to put words in his mouth, obviously. He hasn't spoken to that effect. He just said, I'm out, and who knows where life will take him next. And, me personally, from everything I've seen from him, I quite like Jeff Kaplan. I haven't met him personally, but, there's no denying his achievements with Overwatch, and I generally enjoyed his development update videos that he would occasionally get on camera for, and people in the games industry generally seem to agree that he brings a lot to the table. I can only hope that under Aaron Keller's leadership, Overwatch can continue to thrive and its quality won't degrade, and that the team has been nurtured enough that they're able to take the torch that Jeff passed on, run with it, and do right by it. But at the same time, it's hard to deny that Jeff Kaplan's absence will be felt. Jeff, in many ways, was the face of Overwatch, and, people were endeared by his presence. His leadership was such a huge influence in the success of Overwatch that I certainly understand concerns that his departure might mean that the future of Overwatch is less certain. When you look at everything happening at Blizzard and, just the rate at which certain top developers are leaving and the way corporate influence continues to seep in and interfere with the traditional way that Blizzard used to make games, with a focus on quality and pushing the boundaries and on the player experience. For my part, at least, I cannot help but feel a little nervous at this development. But with all said and done, I do wish Jeff Kaplan the best of luck with his future endeavors. I don't know if he plans to stay in the game development landscape or if he's pursuing personal projects. Whatever it is, I hope he lands on his feet. Though, it'd be a crazy development if, weeks or months down the line, it got announced that he joined Dreamhaven or something. I'm not saying this is what's gonna happen, I'm just saying it'd be funny if that happened. And if that did happen, it would certainly maybe drive the point forward that maybe Jeff Kaplan just wasn't liking the corporate environment of Blizzard, but, that's just all 100% hypothetical. Speculation is that, like Morhaime and many others, Jeff Kaplan just wasn't happy working at Blizzard with how Activision was managing things. But it could just as well be that, he spent 19, almost 20 years at the company and he felt it was time for a new start to pursue personal projects. Maybe we'll find out down the line, weeks, months, maybe years later. Maybe Jeff Kaplan will open up about that if he feels like it, or maybe not. Regardless, this is the situation. So there you have it, folks. That's everything you need to know about Jeff Kaplan's departure. Let me know in the comments below why you think he left and what his departure ultimately means for the future of Blizzard and IPs like Overwatch. Drop a comment, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.